Welcome po. Welcome back to Lira and Law. Thank you very much for joining me on our usual Thursday get together. Welcome po, no? And magandang gabi po sa inyong lahat. Gosh, it's Mayo na tayo, no? It's actually if you're watching from England, especially London, no? I think winter's back. It's napansin nyo ba? It was hailing actually. I think yes, kahapon at saka kaninang umaga. It was hailing in Richmond where my office is. So it's so strange. It's so strange. So I think winter is back. I'll put it this way: I brought out again my winter coat. No, so anyway, hopefully the next few days, well, next few weeks, with any luck, or next few months will actually be summertime. But no, look, I shouldn't complain really. No, we have many more. The world has many more issues than a little bit of hail or bad weather. No, but there you go. But as usual, ako pong host nyo. I always forget to say my name because I'm so used to being with you on a Thursday. You must know me by now. But anyway, for those of you who are new, ang pangalan ko po Lira Simon Kabatbat, and I am a solicitor at Douglas Simon Solicitors. We are based nga in Richmond, so the end of the district line, the green line nga. I am a solicitor, so abogado po ako for gosh, 30, sabi ko na, 34, gosh. Every time I see it, I kind of choke up a little bit because I can't believe it. 34 years post-qualification experience. Where did time go, no? So hindi pa yung kasama, my training, my studies, if you add those, which amount to about 6 years, no? So if you add that to the 34 years post-qualification experience that I have been in law a total of 4 decades. Okay. Even though I've been doing this now, 40 years, and for those of you watching, it could be that I've been doing this longer than you've been existing. It never gets, law, at least I've been very lucky. Law has not, for me, gone stale or uninteresting. No, maybe it's also nga yung specialty ko. And what we talk about mainly dito is immigration. Of course, we talk about other areas of law, but the vast majority of topics nga natin is immigration. So I'm always kept on my toes by you, actually, by putting your questions to me, either emailing it to me in advance so that we have a chance of looking at it as a star question, or kaya, of course, putting it to me, just messaging me nga. So I'm always kept on my toes, and I think that goes some way in keeping it interesting, diba? Keeping it very interesting. And of course, the various governments have certainly made life challenging for a lot of immigrants, a lot of applicants nga, and of course lawyers that specialize in immigration. And tonight is no different. Pag-uusapan po natin, we have a number of questions, and salamat po for putting posting them, for emailing them to me in advance. I say again, kung meron kayong mga questions, email it to me in advance by Wednesday nga, and I will try and deal with it on the Thursday, our Thursday get together nga. And tonight, as I say, is no different. But what is slightly different nga tonight is we have 2 star questions. And coincidentally, I mean, I did check nga, has it come from the same viewer? No. But coincidentally, both asked about very similar things, but different scenarios, which makes it even more interesting because we can look at it from the different viewpoints nga. And that's to do with the parent route. So the issue is kung may anak kayo dito, dito pinanganak sa UK, for example, or at least or British or indefinite leave to remain, can you join your child? Sabi natin sa Pilipinas nga kayo, can you join your child and make an application under this route, the parent route? no? It's actually not a topic I don't think that I've dealt with in any detail in the past. I think every so often I would get questions and I deal with it in that way. But tonight, because of because we have 2-star questions and both asking about the parent root, we're going to deal with it as our star question. No, so let me just read to you both questions. They're fairly short now, no, and then we're going to go into it after the break in quite a bit more detail. So, unang question nga ito. Hello po, sabi niya, no? Ask ko lang po, sana, kung ano pong exam, no, ang kailangan kunin kapag mag-a-apply ng parent visa. So, hindi pa siya nagpapasok. So, she's just asking now. So, anong exam, English language, yung ibig niya sabihin, no? May baby po ako, nearly 7 months old. Oh, they're very cute at that age. Na pinanganak sa UK. Right? So that makes it quite interesting. Nasa Pilipinas na po kami ngayon at gusto ko pong sanang ayusin ng parent visa para makabalik po kami sa UK. So it's a great question. So nasa Pilipinas siya, pinanganak yung baby niya dito sa UK, 7 months na, no? Pero yung mother and child are in the Philippines. Gusto niyang bumalik nga dito, question nga niya, basic question is, meron ba siya kailangang gawin by way of English, no? English test. I'll deal with that, of course, no? But ang plano nga niya, magpapasok siya ng parent visa. So, we're going to look into that, of course, dealing with the specific question, but more than that. Now, the second question is this. So sabi niya, hi po, ask ko lang po sana regarding my parent visa application. So itong viewer na ito, nagpasok na siya ng application. No? Upon checking po, kasi yung requirements and checklist namin, hindi specifically naka-mention if required po akong mag-take ng English test. Similar question, no? Ang naka-indicate lang po is TB test and the necessary payments. And nag-paid na po rin kami nung immigration health surcharge, the IHS that you have to pay. Would like to clarify lang po sana, if possible, na hindi na required ang English language, ang English test in my case, sabi niya, no? Or if may chance po bang hingang kami mamaya, no? Kami dito later during the application process. Thank you po. So, it's truly, it's a two-star questions, 2-in-1, no, bonus. So ang gagawin po natin, we're going to go through those. And I will say now, no, kung nanonood nga kayo, tune in, continue to tune in nga. Because although the question is very similar to do with English language nga, but the scenarios are quite different, no? But for both, actually, I think the problem is potential problem, I should say, not the problem, but potential problem is quite a lot more. So it's actually quite it's a great topic. And salamat po for posting it nga. Hindi lang yung questions natin, of course, there are we have other questions not to deal with. But before we launch into that, we're going to take a quick break. Tapos balik tayo, we're going to unpack these two great questions. Saglit nga lang po. Welcome back po to Lira in Law. I am your host, Lira Simon Kabatbat of Douglas Simon Solicitors. Ay abogado po ako of 34 years post-qualification experience, plus another 6 years of the studies and training. And so you're looking at 40 years in law. Anyway, I hope that I'm able to assist you in hopefully pointing in the right direction and dealing with your questions as far as I can. But I say again, lagi ko sinasabi sa inyo, kung nalilito kayo, meron kayong problema, truly nothing beats face-to-face meeting. And it can be done remotely kung malayo kayo, nakatira kayo sa Pilipinas, and you want to ask nga questions nga. Solicitors would normally do, like we do, meetings remotely. Hindi yung problema. Also, if you're worried about cost, then you can also book, certainly we do, and I think most firms do, a fixed fee interview. So ibig sabihin, you see them for that time, and you pay for that day, for that advice, and then you can think about it kung anong gusto nyo gawin, no? So you really must seek independent legal advice where you can. Okay. Now, having said that, let's look at our star questions. Okay, because it's double trouble tonight. We have two questions dealing with the same topic but different scenarios nga. So sabi ang viewers po natin, yung unang viewer natin, sabi nga niya, ang ano bang kailangan niyang exam? Like they're both asking about the English language test. Kailangan ba? Under the parent root, yung topic nga natin. So yung viewer number 1, nasa Pilipinas na nga siya, pinanganak yung baby niya who's now 7 months old dito sa UK. Pareho silang nandoon, bumalik sila sa Pilipinas. Question nga niya is, she wants to apply under the parent root, and question nga niya is the English language. But it's actually, I think the concern should in fact be more than just the English language. Viewer 2, question, yung question po niya, nagpasok na siya ng application. So scenario niya, nagpasok na siya ng parent visa application, nagbayad na din nga siya ng immigration health surcharge, pero hindi niya makita doon, ano bang kailangan niyang by way of English language? Kailangan ba niya ng English language? Hanapin ba nila? Alam niya, naghahanap sila ng TB test. For example, as I say, nagbayad na siya ng immigration health surcharge. So question niya, kailangan pa ba niya yung English language? Are they gonna ask for it later on? And hindi niya sinabi na yung baby niya kasama niya. So I'm assuming yung baby niya o yung anak niya nandito sa UK. Okay? So pag titingnan nga din natin diyon. So they're jointly, no, as I say, double trouble in some sense nga. They're great questions. Dahil one, of course, deals with the baby nandoon. The other one deals with nandito yung anak nga, I'm assuming, but there are other things potentially of concern. So let's unpack it. No, by the way, I'm going to be referring later on to some of the provisions even under the immigration rules. Ang gagawin ko, I'll refer to it absolutely, pero I will leave it on our Facebook page, okay? So makikita nyo. So if you need to refer to it back, then you can see it. I just warn you that it's quite long, no? And that only relates to these two questions nga. But hopefully it's fairly clear once you also hear what I have to say against the immigration rules. Pero papakita ko nga sa inyo, so makita nyo, that's from actually the Home Office, no? So that is what they will be looking for, because I think it's better to have the actual law rather than just say a summary of the law, to ensure nga that you're complete with the requirements. You know what you need to show. Okay, so let's have a look now. Parent root. Now sometimes nga nakakalito yung parent root, and I think the main issue na nalilito ng mga tao is they have a child, no? So pinanganak dito o nandito nga yung bata. So immediately they're thinking, oh, nandiyan may anak ko, so it's parent root. But actually it may not in fact apply to you, or something else may apply instead rather than that, even though meron kayong anak nga dito sa UK. And so let me just explain that a little bit. So I think that's perhaps the confusion, because you logically you're immediately thinking, oh, may anak ko, so I must be entitled to apply under the parent root. But hindi po yun, no? So let me explain what I mean. If you are, if you have a child nga, born in the UK or British or ganon, then you can, but you also have a partner. So you can make an application under the partner route. By that, I mean either fiance or unmarried partner, o kaya a spouse nga, no married, under the married route. You have to make an application under the partner route first. Oh, that you must make that application. If you make an application under the parent route, but you could have applied under the partner route, your application under the parent route will be refused, because that's actually specifically said, it's noted in the immigration rules. Kailangan nyo munang ipasok yung application nyo as a partner, not as a parent. But let us assume that actually the partner route is not available, na wala na kayo, no? Let's say. Now, there are the partner route, if you like, the parent route can be looked at in, if you like, two ways, no? Now, and let's look at it against the yung mga questions nga. So viewer 1 has her child in the Philippines. Viewer 2, unclear, but probably child is not in the Philippines. Hindi niya sinabi na nasa Pilipinas nga. So let's assume na yung bata nga nasa UK. Okay? Let's have a look at the conditions under this parent route. So the parent, so yung magulang nga, must meet the relationship requirement with the child. So they have to have a relationship, of course. No, not, and this is what I was saying, if you are entitled to apply under the partner route rather than the parent route, you must do that first. So not be in a relationship with the child's other parent or carer. No, so so you have to have been separated already. And the parent must also provide evidence that they are taking and intend to continue to take an active role in the child's upbringing, because that's the basis of you entering the UK, to be part of their lives, no? Now, additionally, yung magulang nga must be outside the United Kingdom, unless, of course, it's an extension on this basis. Okay? But if you're applying first time, not just varying it, and this parent route is usually an application form outside the UK. You must also, of course, be over the age of 18. Okay, you have to be able to show that you can adequately maintain and accommodate your themselves and any dependents, kung meron kayong iba pang anak na dadating dito, on arrival. Okay. Now, and this deals with both questions nga, no? You also need to be able to prove that you are able to speak English to an acceptable level, which at the moment is A1. Okay, so if I were not as thorough as I am, I can end there, and that answers the questions. But there's more to it than that. Okay. Now, yung bata, so the child must be living in the UK, and that presents a problem to our viewer 1, that yung bata, yung baby niya, who's 7 months old, is actually in the Philippines with her. No? But the child must be living in the UK, must be under the age of 18, probably not a problem for both viewers, nga, either British national or settled in the UK, or granted leave to remain under the EU rules. You know, remember the EU rules. Now, so I say again, your question nyo nga, no, kailangan nyo bang exam? In order to apply under this parent route, you do need an A1 English language test pass mark, okay? Now, going back to the issue of financial support, you need to be able to show that you're able to maintain yourselves, accommodate yourselves in the UK upon arrival. There's no minimum income requirement, oddly, unlike the partner route. And sometimes people have applied under the parent route thinking they can, even though really they should apply under the partner route because of that, because of the no minimum income requirement. But beware, if you can apply, or you should apply under the partner route and you apply under the parent route, your application will be refused. But there's no minimum income requirement. But having said that, kailangan niyo pa rin pakita that you can support yourselves in the UK. No? So, kailangan nyo pa rin pakita, meron kayong titira nga dito, na pagka nandito na kayo, meron kayong, meron kayong income, no? Baka, I don't know, maybe you have relatives who are able to support you pagka nandito na nga kayo, o kaya it could be that you already have a job lined up, no? Now, so going back to our viewers, viewer 1, unang-una yung problema, your child is not in the United Kingdom. Okay? Now, sabi mo, pinanganak yung bata dito sa UK. Bumalik nga lang kayo. No? Now, kahit pinanganak yung bata dito sa UK, and this applies across board, no? It does not mean that they're automatically British. Okay? Now, so yun ang una nyo kailangan tingnan. Now, however, kung ang, I mean, I'll just, assume that tatay nga. So if the father was British when the child was born, it may be that the child is indeed British, because where the father can pass on his citizenship. If the child is not automatically British, it could be that they can be registered as British, okay? Because the father becomes British or indeed gets indefinite leave to remain. Pero yung unang-unang problema, the birth of your child in the United Kingdom does not mean the British siya. So you need to be able to show that actually she or he is indeed British. If dad is British, as I say, or mom is British nga, then and they're in the United Kingdom, pero wala na nga kayo, yes, then more likely than not, the child is also British. So hopefully that's not a problem that you have. Because if that is an issue, so hindi nga British yung bata, pero umuwi kayo, yung anak mo at saka ikaw, nandun ka sa atin na, then that's a massive problem. Because you can't then rely on the parent route or anything else that if you like flows from the parent route. And I'm going to deal with that. No. Now, viewer 2, sabi niya, okay, nandito, nasa Pilipinas na nga siya, hindi niya sinabi na nandun yung bata, so I'm assuming nandito yung bata nga, no? And gusto nga din niya malaman, kailangan niya ng English language. The answer is yes, kailangan mo ng English language, and it must be minimum A1, okay? When you apply later on, just as a side issue, kung makakuha kayo ng visa under the parent route, unang visa bibigyan nga sa'yo, 2.5 years muna, no? When you apply to extend, just going back to the English language, you then need an A2, much like the partner route. A2 po ang kailangan nyo, hindi A1. Okay? Huwag nyo kalimutan. Nagbago yung batas. So you now need A2 on top for the renewal. No? Now, going back to the viewer 2, okay? The potential problem is showing, it's the relationship requirement. Dahil nandito kayo. Nandiyan kayo sa Pilipinas, yung bata nasa UK, no? Now, but go back to basic. Unang-una, kailangan nyo pakita, you are indeed the child's parent, no? So, nandun bang pangalan nyo sa birth certificate? Kung wala doon, then you may need to re-register the child, of course, with the consent of the other parent nga, showing your name, or you may need to execute what's called a parental responsibility agreement. Kailangan nyo pakita basically you are a parent. Okay? And they need proof of that. The easiest way of proving it is birth certificate. Okay? Now, if you are a parent, kailangan nyo pakita din, nandito yung bata, okay, that you either have sole responsibility. That's not normally a problem kung mag-isa nga lang bata dito. So sabihin natin, inuwanan yung bata dito, umuwi kayo, no? Actually, I had a case like this nga, umuwi kayo, nandun kayo sa Pilipinas, pero yung bata naiwan nga dito kasama nung ama. But then something happened to the father, no? And so, ang kaso ng kalayante ko, who's in the Philippines, sabi niya, in that case, I now have sole responsibility for my child because of what happened to the dad, no? So that's sole responsibility, no? if you don't have sole responsibility, dahil nga yung bata nakatira dun sa isang magulang, no, the other parent nga, then you need to be able to show that you have direct access. Again, was a change in the law a little while ago now. In the past, you could show indirect contact na, indirect access. So by phone, by video, ganon. But nagbago po yung batas. Now you need to be able to show, and this is a must, direct access with your child. Now, that's why I'm saying, viewer 2, kailangan mo mag-ingat dito. Dahil alam ko malayong Pilipinas, no? It's not like you can just take a train, no? To go to Paris, no? For example, it takes 2 hours or so. So of course, it takes a lot more effort, costs also, to go to the Philippines. So kung nandito yung bata, hindi ka binibisita sa atin, then arguably, there's no direct contact, no direct access. So ibig sabihin, you may be refused just on that basis. Pero kung ang arrangement nyo nung sa magulang during holidays, sa yung bata, o kaya you meet somewhere, no, or you come in and visit, nga, no, you have visit visa, you come visit on a regular basis, nga, then you will be able to argue direct access, direct contact nga with the child. But you need to also prove that amongst other things. Okay, so it's not as easy as simply saying pinanganak yung bata dito sa UK, and so magulang kanya, so you want to now live in the United Kingdom with your child, or join your child who's in the UK. So the parent route is actually probably more challenging than a lot of people think. So you need to be aware of the conditions, no? Now, it's one thing me saying to you, okay, itong kailangan yung pakita. Actually, let me just let me give you a little bit of good news in relation to that before I go on to the more the other section. So if you succeed with an application under the parent route, then the standard one, if you like, then ang makukuha yung visa is usually 33 months. During that time, pwede kayo magtrabaho nga dito, or there's no limit as to the type of employment you can undertake. Pero bago matatapos yung visa nyo, kailangan yung extend ulit. During which time you should then get another 2.5 years. Pagka 5 taon na kayo dito, and this is of course subject to any changes in the law, pagka 5 taon na kayo dito, then it could be that you can make an application for indefinite leave to remain, more likely than not. Indefinite leave to remain, which of course is settlement status nga. But as I say, unang-una, going back to the English language, which is the main question, A1, pagka mag-extend na kayo, A2, pag mag-indefinite na kayo, kailangan nyo, at least at the moment, B1, likely to change to B2. Okay, so be aware of the provisions nga of the conditions. That is if you pass under the parent route, the standard one, if you like. So doon, under the usual standard parent route, 5 years ka lang yung pakita to get to indefinite leave to remain. But what if, and I have a lot of clients in this situation, you can't actually satisfy all the requirements. You satisfy some, or indeed you satisfy most, but not all. Ano mangyayari? Now, and this is where seeing a solicitor absolutely is crucial. No? But let me give you what I normally say to my clients. And this needs to be conveyed to the Home Office by way of representations, legal representations. So that's uploaded, no, with your statement and other documents to the Home Office bago nyo kukunin yung gagawin yung biometric nyo, no, when you hand in your passport, they take a photo of you and your fingerprints. So the legal representation should say this. Now, you will need to address the issue of, I often refer to it as exceptionality. Okay, Some people say, human rights, no, but sure, that all comes into it. So let's say you don't satisfy all the conditions. Now, it doesn't mean that that's the end of it. No? And the Home Office are duty bound. They must look at the next bit. No, the next bit, and let me tell you. Let me just flash to you the law. Okay, so it's called. Let me just see. Let me just see if I can flash it. Oh, maybe I didn't. Okay, so ito, exceptional circumstances. There's more to it than that, by the way, okay? But I'll post that, as I say, on Facebook nga. So makikita nyo dyan, exceptional circumstances, that's again under the Appendix FM, no? Makikita nyo yan, family members, exceptional circumstances, ang tawag, okay? GEN, okay? General, essentially. GEN 3.1, 2, and 3, all right? This is not as long as the other bit, but makikita nyo dyan. Now, what does that mean? No, these issues, the GENs. This, and it's well worth, hindi naman ganun mahaba, well worth reading it. This is the provision, these are the provisions that the Home Office must look at if an application does not satisfy all the conditions under the parent root. So basically, titingnan nila, okay, do you satisfy the income? No? Do you satisfy the accommodation? Do you have the English language? Is the child, in the United Kingdom? No? So all those things are, of course, conditions now. Now, if you don't satisfy all the conditions, this you need to refer to. And kung meron kayong abogado, they will absolutely say, or they should say this. They will say, okay, there's no point also ignoring the fact that you don't satisfy all the conditions, because that would be silly. You need to address it. So usually I would say my clients made this application under the parent root. The sole concern is, and then I point out what is the issue. What is it I cannot, or my client cannot satisfy? Okay, and then I make reference to this, GEN 3, 1, 2, and 3. As I say, usually ang tawag ko exceptional grounds, no? And this the bit people oftentimes when I'm looking at appeals, or appealing a decision, this is the bit that they have not dealt with. So you need to say why you think that your case is effectively exceptional, under this. And you can see here, GN 3.2, 3.3. So let me just see if I can flash the end bit here. Let me just see if I can read that to you. Okay, so I put it also in red, for the viewers, for the viewer 1 and 2. Okay, it's the bit in red you need to pay particular attention to. So let me just read to you those sections now. 3.21, subject to paragraph 4. Anyway, where an application for entry, clearance, or leave to enter or remain made under this appendix, or an application for leave to remain which has otherwise been considered under this appendix, does not otherwise meet the requirements of this appendix or part suitability, okay, the decision maker must consider whether the circumstances in subparagraph 2 apply. And then subparagraph 2 is listed. So nasa baba. So where subparagraph 1 applied, don't get yourself confused about that. But anyway, so if the one before applies, the decision maker must consider, on the basis of the information provided by the applicant, hint, kailangan yung sabihin, okay? It's for you to show that your case satisfies this, or that it should be applied to you, okay? So it is information provided by the applicant, whether there are exceptional circumstances which would render refusal of entry clearance or leave to enter or remain a breach of Article 8 of the European Convention of Human Rights. That's basically family life, for example, private life, because such refusal would result in unjustifiably harsh consequences for the applicant, their partner, or a relevant child or other family member whose Article 8 rights is evident from that information would be affected by decision to refuse application. Now, clear as mud, I'm sure. Okay? So those sections basically are saying, okay, prove to us that if you, or show us that if you are not granted leave to enter, that there are exceptional circumstances that would be in breach of your right to family or your family's right to family. In this case, your child. No, so you would probably say. So in the case of my client who was living in the Philippines, tapos yung bata nandito, may nangyari sa tatay, and sabi niya, well, I now have sole responsibility for the child. But the problem was there was no direct contact. There was no direct access at that point. No? Dun siya, nandito yung bata. And so there, we argued nga that in fact there are exceptional circumstances, because otherwise there's no one caring for the child. No? In the UK, there are exceptional circumstances, and refusal of the application would lead to breach of Article 8, right to family, private life nga, and also on top, if you go, it is not in the child's best interest for the parent not to be granted leave to enter the UK. So yun, no? So the relevant child. So it's for you though to show it, no? So ibig pong sabihin, going back again to our viewers 1 and 2, kung magpapasok yung application under the parent route, beware, no, that you make sure nga that you likely to satisfy all the conditions. But if you if you do, ang bisang bibigay sa inyo usually will be a little over 2.5 years, 33 months nga yung unang-una. You need to extend it, okay? And once you've extended it and 5 years na kayo dito, then you can make an application for indefinite leave to remain, subject to any changes in the law. But if you do not satisfy all the conditions, it may be that not all is lost. Okay? It could be that you still get a visa, but if you get a visa under this, so that you don't satisfy the conditions, but there are exceptional circumstances, it could be that you get a visa, entry visa, nevertheless on that basis. But just beware, ang bisang bibigay sa inyo it would also be 2.5 years, but to get to indefinite leave to remain, settlement status, you then need a total of 10 years rather than 5 years. Again, subject to the law changing, because at the moment they're talking about earned settlement. No, so my very basic answer to your questions, viewer 1 and viewer 2, is absolutely you do need an A1 level English test. If you get a visa under this, when you apply for an extension nga, pagka nandito na kayo, you then need an A2 English language test. And in due course, pag magpapasok na indefinite leave to remain, then it gets even higher to B1, likely to be B2 sometime in 2027. So yun, okay? So it's not, I do like these questions dahil pagka tinignan mo nga, unang-una, simple lang. But actually, it's jam-packed with potential issues, no? And you probably realize I get quite excited nga about the other issues, no? But hopefully, no, hindi nga problema sa inyo, and that hopefully that's of some assistance nga, and just be careful, no? Don't assume, may anak kayo dito na pwede kang pumasok, and certainly don't assume na kung pinanganak dito yung bata na okay nga pabalik kayo, no? Be careful, and it's probably worth your while, both of you, to seek independent legal advice. Now, I enjoyed that. I hope you did too. I hope that was helpful, no? To everyone. But look, sharing is caring, So, kung meron kayong kilala, kaibigan, you think, baka interesado sila nito, o kaya baka makatulong to sa kanila, send it, no? Sharing is caring, all right? Now, hopefully may bumabati sa atin, because that's I like the whole thing. I like being with you nga. But I do like people saying hello. Guy, the great guy from London. Magandang gabi, sabi niya, Attorney Lira. Magandang gabi po. How are you, sir? A rainy Thursday. Tama ka, Guy. A rainy Thursday. Tama ka. To Attorney Lira and to the viewers. I worked in Canary Wharf today. Okay. Gutom na pero no problem. Gutom na, sabi niya. Ako nga din, no? Ikaw, Guy, do you eat late? We shouldn't really eat late. I mean, I try not to eat late, but on Thursdays, I do eat late. So sabi niya, I'm now ambassador. Ating siopaw. Ating siopaw asado. It's my dinner now while listening to your lovely voice. Talaga? I'm gonna look that up. Ating siopaw asado. No? You can order on the network link. I can post here with your permission, please. Yeah, absolutely. Looking forward to lots of learning. Again, the guy. A guy posted because I may order. I mean, I do like. Actually, today I was speaking with a friend. Sabi ko, can you make me an ubi cake? She very kindly said she would. David Calixto II. Hello, magandang gabi po. Magandang gabi po sa inyo. Hope everyone is well. Quick update. Mag-gulp magulpe. Ang Senado, and laging putol ang supply ng kuryente only in the Philippines. Yeah, I didn't know about about electricity, no? Na laging putol ang kuryente. Alam ko nung bata ako, even then, no? Matagal na yung bata ako. Laging may brown out, no? Di ba tawag natin? If electricity is cut during the day, may brown out. Blackouts anyway, but certainly brown out. Yeah, I've been following the Senate happenings, shall we say. Interesting. Tingnan nga natin. Now, let me just see if anyone else is saying hello. Mariam Galicia Paner. Hello, madam. Hello po, Tony. Sabi niya, at sa lahat, happy Thursday po. And I'm watching from, she's in the United Arab Emirates. We miss you po, Attorney Lira. I missed you, madam. You and I have been together now since COVID. And COVID was 6 years ago now, no? Diba? 6 years na, diba? And we've been together for that length of time. What are you doing at the UAE? Wow. I hope it's safe, huh? When are you back? You're coming back soon, huh? Keep safe, madam. Keep safe. I know of course, what goes on the news are the ones that make the news. But be careful, huh? Miss Jones, Marilyn Jones. A chilly Thursday. You are so right. Chilly Thursday evening, Attorney Lira, and all viewers, keep warm and well, everyone. Ikaw nga din, madam, it really is, no? Napansin mo, there was hail, no? I was saying earlier on, there was hail yesterday, hail today. It's so weird. And it's May. It's so strange. I can't remember getting hail in May. Ever, really, no? Miss Gilling! Oh, the lovely Miss Gilling. M.M. Gilling. Hello, good evening po, ma'am. Happy Thursday po. Happy Thursday, madam. I hope you're well. Miss Gilling is lovely. She's so... Oh, is that a picture of you? Napakaliit nga lang. I can't really see Miss Gilling. But she's Miss Gilling is one of the hardest working people I know. May Tigbao Vargas. Hello and good evening, Attorney Lira, and everyone watching your program. Happy Thursday and God bless. God bless, madam. Are you well? I hope you're well, no? It's I hope you're your outfit there, meron kang coat and you have the hat. That is me. That's me in the evening. Alam niyo for those of you who've been with me for a long time nga, alam niyo may aso ako. Dr. Watson ang pangalan niya. And that's me walking him every night, no? With my little beanie hat and a coat, at least at the moment. I don't know when I will ditch my coat. There's no point putting them away, I don't think. Miss Rafael! Oh, I love this picture of you, Miss Rafael. Wow, you look great. And she's feeling good because she's all in caps. Hello, good evening, Attorney Lira, sabi niya. And everyone, happy Thursday to all. Happy Thursday, man. Are you in the UK now? You still in the Philippines? Oh, madaling araw sa atin. Oh, madam, you're so kind. And also David, no? Salamat, salamat po. You're so kind. Alam ko madaling araw, so you're probably having to put your alarm clock, especially to tune in. Miss Nadella, Risa Nadella. Hello, Attorney Lira, sabi niya. Miss Nadella, how are you? I hope you're well. I hope you're taking holidays, no? Working is one thing, and I've been accused certainly of working too hard. Well, I'm always accused of working too hard because I enjoy it, no? But you also have to enjoy life. And I must say, at my age, having been in law for 40 years, madam, no, I think we also need to enjoy life a little bit. What do you think, Miss Nadella? No? Oh, I miss you, Attorney Sabia. And I miss you too, Miss Nadella. Anytime, pop in, say hello. She is, I tell you, Miss Nadella she's one of the happiest people I know. Every time nagkikita kami, she's always happy. No, she's just one of those people nga, and who somehow emanate happiness. No, unfortunately, not something I can lay claim to. No, but Miss Nadella, those of you who know her or are fortunate enough to know her later on, you'll find out what I mean. She's always happy. Yeah, she emanates happiness. Totoo. Yeah. Now, let me just see if there's someone. Miss Diesta, Lorna Diesta. Oh, hello, Miss Diesta. Good evening, Attorney Lira, sabi niya. A bit late. I went to mass pa kasi. Well, that's a very good excuse. No? God bless you and your family and viewers. God bless now, Miss Diesta. I hope you're well. And I like this card, no? I like this card. Oh, that's beautiful. I hope you're well and you're not working too hard. And I suspect you worked, tapos you went to mass. No, that's no, it's Miss Nadella. I miss you, Attorney Sabia, and I miss you too, Miss Nadella. It's always it's great to be to have continued contact now with people from before, clients, say, for example, from before. And I think it takes an even more prominence the older I get, and merong kliyente, actually, one of my very, very first clients, not actually immigration, years, literally decades ago. I was then contacted by email by her daughter, who I remember was so small when I dealt with the mom initially nga. And sabi nga niya, and she expressed gratitude for me helping her mother. It really is so touching. It truly is. So nothing pleases me more than people saying hello to me. I miss you all there in London. Si sabi ni Miss Rafael, oh, we miss you, madam. Keep safe, ha? Alam ko, balita sa akin magulo daw sa atin nga ngayon. Mataas nga presyo. Tsaka, ayaw ko kung ginagawa nila sa Senate natin, but so, no, ingat, ha? Ingat, Ms. Rafael. I know that, Philippines is a great country. It's a great country to visit and to live in. But we do have challenges, unfortunately. Ms. Diaz, sabi niya, I'm well, thank you. Oh, that's good to hear, madam. Good to hear. And you deserve to be well. You're someone who, we've also known each other for a while now, no, Ms. Diaz? So it's good that you're keeping well. I hope that you are not just working, going to mass, working, going to mass. No, I hope you're enjoying life also. Not to say that you don't enjoy your life when you go to mass, but you know what I mean. You go on holiday, I hope. No? Yeah. Keep me informed, madam. Keep me informed. Now, let me just see if there's anyone else. Okay. No, none for the moment. Oh, gosh, I got so I so enjoyed that nga, no? I lose myself and I lose the time. So I mustn't forget. Let's have a look at the other questions nga, because we do have other questions. Let me have a look. So question nga. Okay, so yon. Let me just see if I can flash the question. Okay, sabi po niya, hi po, ask ko lang po sana. My husband came to the UK under a dependent visa, and his visa will expire in January next year, so January 2027. He still needs one more year before he can apply for ILR, indefinite leave to remain. I recently became a British citizen this year, so medyo nalilito po ako kung paano namin mai-extend ang visa niya and kung anong form po ang dapat naming fill upan for the one-year extension before his ILR. Most likely po magbabayad ulit kami ng immigration health surcharge. Sabi niya, for context po, when I first came to the UK as my dependent, ongoing pa pong indefinite leave to in ILR application ko that time. Now, let's just unpack this a little bit, no? So kung dumating siya dito, so if he entered the UK as your dependent at the time now that you already had indefinite leave to remain, then he probably was granted a spouse visa at the time. But I'll also look at another scenario, which I think is more likely. Now, in that case, it would be a spouse visa. Kung spouse visa na nakuha niya, so that was 2.5 years, and then another 2.5 years. And once it's 5 years, you can apply for indefinite leave to remain. Now, sometimes people fall short and they're granted a visa, hindi sila pumasok dito immediately. So if short of 1 year, then you need to apply for extension as a spouse first, because that was the visa that he was granted initially. Paid IHS, but when you apply for indefinite leave to remain, sooner, pagka 5 years na, then part of your IHS can get refunded. Okay, people forget that you can get a refund back. But, and this is more likely, sigurong nangyari ito, if he entered the United Kingdom as your dependent and you were at the time under the skilled worker route, so employment nga, and because of that, but in the meantime, you got your indefinite, you've also become British, but he's not yet met the 5-year requirement as dependent of a skilled worker who has settled the status na, okay, then tama ka, he needs to extend his visa to get the remaining time, no? The application you need to submit, and this you just you go on the Home Office website. It's called partner or child of a settled worker. No? So if you Google that, you'll actually probably come across the form itself. Now, so there, tama ka, you make an application, or he makes an application to extend his visa, and once his 5 years is complete, then he can nevertheless make an application for indefinite leave to remain. Okay? And now, because you're British also, sabihin natin makakuha siya indefinite, no? Because you're already British, unless the law changes, which is very likely, but because you're already British, you can, he can make an application immediately, not having to wait the 1 year after indefinite leave to remain. Right? So I think this is probably now what had happened. So the application, so if you just Google it, partner / child of a settled worker, and the form will come up. Good luck. Okay. Now I think we have some more questions. So sandali nga lang. Let me just have a look at questions nga nito. Okay. Okay. Hi, sabi niya, I just wanted to ask if my relatives visiting the UK on the standard visitor visa are planning to go to Paris during their stay. Is it better? I think this was last week. Is it better for them to apply for Schengen visa while still in the Philippines? Also, would there be any issue when they return to the UK after visiting Paris, or should re-entry be straightforward? Let me deal with it anyway. Okay. I think this was last week, but no. Let's deal with it. So, standard visit visa, going to Paris, going to France during their stay. Is it better for them to apply for Schengen visa while still in the Philippines? Yes. Okay. You can. It's not prohibited, to make an application for Schengen visa. When you are in the UK, but you'll find you may get some resistance from some countries. They like you to apply from the country where you are resident, for the Schengen visa. At alam niyo naman na yun ang plano. So you make an application then for a Schengen visa, and re-entry no, there should be no problem with re-entry as long as they have multiple entry visas. Okay, if they don't have multiple entry visas, then that would be a problem because it's just one thing. Now, let me just see. I'm sure meron pa tayong questions. Let me just see if I can bring it up. Let me find it. This is a problem with live shows, no? The technology is not always kind to us. Let me have a look. Ito. So, hello all. My spouse visa is due to expire on 28 May 2026. I would like to ask whether, naputol. So, sandali. Let me just see. Let me have a look. Naputol tayo. So, let me just see. Yeah, there we are. I would like to ask whether it's possible to apply for renewal earlier. Let's say now, let's say for another 2.5 years, and whether doing so can affect my 5 years qualifying period. Thank you, Paul. Okay, let's have a look at that. Now, let me just see. If you're applying, so ang kaso, let me just lost my train of thought there. Yeah, so spouse visa due to expire on the 28th of May 2027, right? I think it's 2027. I'd like to ask whether it's possible to apply for renewal earlier, let's say now for 2.5 years, and whether doing so can affect my 5 years qualifying period. General guidance, let me just tell you about this, is that you should apply about 28 days before your existing visa expires, okay? But there are a number of caveats to that. You can submit your indefinite leave to remain application up to 28 days before completing the 5-year qualifying period. I wouldn't go beyond that, or I wouldn't submit earlier than that. Problem is this, no? Kung magpapasok ka ng application earlier, for one thing, you may just get rejected. Very likely you'll get rejected because you're a year out. Ang mangyayari, they'll refund you back your IHS, but they'll keep the home office fee. So you're out of pocket, right? Also, if it's granted, now let's just say, ibig sabihin, it's very likely you will fall short, probably by a year, of the 5 years you need in order to be able to show that, in order to be able to apply for indefinite leave to remain. So you will then find, kung 4 years ka nga lang, that you have to apply for an extension because you have a 1-year gap, no, to reach 5 years spouse. So ang payo ko, don't, unless there's a logical reason why you should. So don't, because it will affect it, and you may find that you're paying extra money twice. What's the point in that? No, what is the point in that? Now, gosh, it's been full on, no? Ang dami natin mga questions. Of course, ang ganda nga ng mga topic natin, ano? So I hope you enjoyed that. I certainly did. And salamat po, no, for keeping me company. And thank you very much for saying hello. My favorite part of our show. Just leaves me really to say, I hope to see you next week. Our usual Thursday get together. Salamat po to the Facebook groups for allowing us to post our contents on their pages. Extra thanks, please, to those of you who are watching live, no, even from the Philippines. I appreciate it. Thank you very much for keeping me company. And I hope you'll be able to join me again next week, same time, same place. Good night.